Good day, everyone. Welcome to episode 2 of our lecture series in Introduction to Philosophy of the Human Person. For today's episode, we will discuss the philosophical tools and processes in doing philosophy or when we are philosophizing. They said that philosophy as a science is also a systematized body of knowledge. But unlike science, which employs observation and experimentation to prove theories, philosophy uses reason to arrive an accurate knowledge or truth. Okay, so let's start with our discussion with the first philosophical tools. We have first philosophical questions. Philosophical questions is the first tool that we use when we are philosophizing, when we are doing philosophy. So, philosophy was born because of ignorance. They said that if one is ignorant, he asks questions, and, if he keeps on questioning, the more knowledge he acquires. Kaya nga daw, kapag ang isang tao ay walang alam, natural yan ay magtatanong. Kapag ang tao ay tanong ng tanong sa mga bagay-bagay upang masagot niya ang mga katanungan, upang mahanapan niya ng solution ang isang problema, ang taong yan ay gumagamit ng philosophical tool, which is the process of questioning, philosophical questions. Kapag daw ang tao ay patuloy na nagtatanong upang masagot ang mga katanungan, upang mahanap ang solutions sa problema, he tends to become a philosopher. I said before na all of us can be a philosopher in our own way. When we are searching for the solution to our problem, when we are thinking deeply the solution to our problem, we are philosophizing, we are applying philosophy. So first is philosophical questions. We tend to keep asking questions in order for us to find the answers to our question, find the solution to our problem. That is the first tool used in philosophy, in doing philosophy or when we are philosophizing. Number 2, logical reasoning. Logical reasoning in short is logic. What is logic? Logic is a branch of philosophy that deals with the accurate and correct thinking. That's why they said that logical reasoning is one of the fundamental skills of effective thinking. It works by raising questions like, if this is true, what else must be true? 2, if this is true, what else is probably true? And number 3, if this is not true, what else cannot be true? Okay, let's give example. Bicycle have 2 wheels. Kenji is riding a bicycle. Therefore, we can conclude that Kenji is riding on 2 wheels. Okay, if this is true, what else must be true from that proposition? Okay, again, bicycles have 2 wheels. Kenji is riding on a bicycle. Therefore, we can conclude that Kenji is riding on 2 wheels. We derive a true statement because the first 2 premises are valid, that bicycles have 2 wheels. If Kenji is riding on a bicycle, therefore, he is riding on 2 wheels. What else must be true in this proposition? If you are riding on 2 wheels, you are riding on a bicycle. Right? Tama. Or, if Kenji is riding on 4 wheels, therefore he is not riding on a bicycle. That's true, because bicycles have 2 wheels. If you are riding on a bicycle, you are riding on 2 wheels. How about if you are riding on a tricycle? Therefore, you are not riding on 2 wheels, but you are riding on 3 wheels. Okay. Another example. Romar saw a black cat on his way to work. Romar saw a black cat on his way to work. Now, Romar got fired. Therefore, black cats are bad luck. Is that valid? So, hindi considered na valid kasi Romer saw a black cat on her way to work. At work, Romer got fired. Siya'y sinibak. Kinunclude mo, black cats are bad luck. So, sinasabi mo na, ang pagsibak sa kanya, Romer got fired, it is because of the black cat. Right? That is not true. What else cannot be true in that case? So, hindi natin pwedeng sabihin na ang pagkasibak niya ni Romer ay dahil dun sa black cat. Siguro nagkataon lang yon. So, kaya nga, yung mga kasabihan, yung mga saying na walang scientific explanation or logical reasoning, that is only a saying. It's up to you if you are going to believe to this saying or not. Okay, so that is the second philosophical tool, logical reasoning. So the first one is philosophical questions. Through asking questions, we can gain knowledge. Through asking questions, we can acquire more knowledge, more accurate knowledge, or by applying logical reasoning or by applying logic, we can gain correct and effective information, which is considered also as knowledge. Okay, so let's move on with the philosophical process. What are the processes? What are the philosophical processes being used when we are philosophizing, when we are doing philosophy? Let's have number one, holistic perspective. Sometimes they call it as synoptic perspective. Holistic perspective, from the word holism, is the supreme philosophical method whereby the person views the quality of the object as a whole. Ayan. Let's try this example. A holistic doctor daw who believes holistic care considers the relationship between the mind, the body, and spirit and doesn't just provide patients with medications, which normally some of the doctors do. Kapag pumunta ka sa doktor at may nararamdaman ka, normally ang gagawin lang sa'yo is bibigyan ka ng gamot or check up ka at para malaman kung anong gamot ang pwedeng ibigay sa'yo para gumaling yung iyong nararamdaman. Ngayon, in that case, that is not considered holistic doctor. That doctor doesn't use holistic perspective. A holistic doctor or a doctor na gumagamit daw ng holistic perspective is i-consider niya. Nang sabi, instead, this doctor uses ways to improve life balance. Iko-consider daw niya yung pag-improve ng life balance and solve health problems from the root cause, such as high stress or bad nutrition. So in short, yung holistic doctor daw, pag ikaw na pasyente kay pumunta sa kanya at sinabi mong nararamdaman mo, hindi lang niya gagamutin ang nararamdaman mo, ang sakit mo, kundi ikaw consider raw niya yung mga ibang bagay kung bakit nagkakasakit ang tao as a whole. So, sabi, the supreme philosophical method whereby the person views the quality of the object or of the problem as a whole. So, sinusolusyonan hindi lang yung specific na cause ng problem, but the whole causes of the problem. So, let's give another example. Tingnan nyo. Sa school, di ba? A teacher can use or apply holistic method or holistic perspective in helping his student to understand better the lesson. Paano? Kung ang problema ng bata ay hindi makasunod dun sa discussion, dun sa lesson na dinidiscuss ng teacher, normally, bibigyan niya ng solution ng teacher. So, hindi ka makasunod, normally ang ginagawa is binibigyan ng intervention. If that is the case, we focus only with the problem. Pero kung holistic approach ang ginamit ng teacher, aalamin niya kung bakit ang batang ito ay hindi nakakasunod sa discussion. Ano ba ang dahilan? Meron bang teacher factor? Natatakot ba rin sa teacher? Or family factor? Meron ba siyang problema sa pamilya? Or peer factor? May problem ba sa kanyang mga kasamahan? Or what other causes of the problem? If that is the case, the teacher considers all aspects of this problem of the child, yung bata as a whole. Tinignan niya as a whole bilang kabuuan kung ano itong mga nakaka-apekto dito sa bata, bakit hindi nakakasunod sa discussion ng teacher. Okay, so that is holistic perspective, one of the processes used when we are doing philosophy or when we are philosophizing. Next is analytic approach or analytic perspective. Analytic perspective is the opposite of holistic. Kung sa holistic, tinitingnan natin yung kabuuan ng problema. Dito, we will analyze. I-analyze natin yung bawat cause ng problema. So, what is analytic approach or analytic perspective? This is the mental or actual breaking down of a larger system into its parts or details, which is used for deeper understanding. So normally, when we are solving problem, when we are catching up or with the situations, we are using analytic perspective. We do analyze. So, pag nagsosolve tayo ng problema, ina-analyze natin one by one these causes of what is the real cause of this problem. Ina-analyze natin. Yan yung analytic method. Bine-breakdown natin into parts and details, and we studied part by part. We analyze part by part. Yung kanina, in sa holistic, we study the problem as a whole. Yung kabuuan, kung bakit, consider natin to solve the problem, not only this problem, but some other problems related to the problem given. Katulad doon sa bata kanina, consider natin, or doon sa doctor, consider natin na hindi lang gamutin yung sakit niya to solve the problem, but consider natin yung para siya maging malusog or maging healthy. And ano yung mga causes para hindi na ulit siya magkasakit. So yung holistic. But in analytic perspective or analytic approach, we break it down, then we analyze. We analyze this problem to solve. In order to solve it, ina-analyze natin. Normally, yan ang ginagawa natin pag tayo may problema. We do analyze, di ba? We do philosophize. We do think deeply. What are the causes? Bakit nagkaganito? In that case, what you are doing is you are analyzing, you are applying analytic perspective, one of the philosophical processes in doing philosophy or when we are philosophizing. Okay, look at the example. Let's try this example of analytic approach. A traditional philosophical problem is, or a traditional philosophical question is, does God exist? Normal yan. Kahit sinong ordinaryong tao, kuminsan natatanong yan, kuminsan nag-iisa ka. May Diyos nga ba? Nag-i-exist ba si God? Di ba? Okay, so that question, if we will use analytic philosophy approaches it by saying, what do you mean by God? Because different religions have wildly different ideas about what the word God means. In some other religion, they have their, for example, in Muslim, they call their God Allah. In some other religions, the meaning of God for them is different from the meaning of God to Roman Catholic or to Christians. So, if you are going to answer that question, does God exist? malilito. Maaring sagot mo, hindi tatanggapin ng ibang religion because you did not consider the meaning of God in their religion. So, what are you going to do? You need to what? Sabi niyan, you need to, you can approach the question of God's existence. You have to define your terms more clearly. So, for Muslim, what is the definition of God? For Roman Catholic, what is the definition for them of God? For Christian, what is their definition of God? How much more to those who do not believe in God, di ba? So, in that case, when you are studying, when you are what? When you are defining, or when you are giving or the meaning of God in different religion, you are analyzing one by one in that case. So that is an example. But if you will answer it as a whole, you apply holistic, maybe that is not acceptable to some other religions. So that's why in analytic approach, we what? We break it down. We break it down into details. So God, meaning of God to Roman Catholic, meaning of God to Christian, meaning of God to Muslim. Then focus with one. Does God exist? Does God exist? Oh, based on the definition of God to Roman Catholic. Does God exist? Based on the definition of God to Muslim and others. So in that case, you will what? You will answer that question based on the definition of its religion. Okay? So let's move on. Next approach is this what we call dialectic perspective or dialectic approach. Okay, what is dialectic perspective? This is a discourse between two or more people holding different points of view about a subject, which is used to establish the truth through reasoned arguments. Normally, this approach is used in a group of people or sa collegial body, for example, in the Congress, di ba? Or when two people want to find an accurate information or answer to a certain question. Normally ginagamit ito ng mga nagdedebate. Kasi, look, a discourse between two or more people holding different points of view. In order daw for us to gain more knowledge, sometimes we want to what? We want to test. We want to test whether our opinion, whether our point of view is acceptable to others. So, if that is the case, ipe-present mo sa kanila yung argument mo. So, then, after you presented to them, of course, they will give comment. When they give comment, accept it, whether it is constructive or good or bad comment, accept it. Ngayon, after you presented them, then they give a comment, dinegate nila, in-oppose nila, then give again your rebuttal. Explain, give more arguments, give more supporting evidences in order na mapasang-ayon mo sila sa iyong argument. So in that case, dialectic approach, you are using dialectic approach. Sometimes we call dialectic approach as the question and answer method. You ask question, he answers your question, then you give your comment, then he gives again a rebuttal or comment to your comments also. So that is dialectic perspective. Let's give example. Okay, for example, these two persons, Shem and Rob. Shem presented his argument. Sabi niya, courage is endurance of soul. But Rob said it is considered false because courage is a fine thing and ignorant endurance is not a fine thing. So Rob then argues and Shem agrees that this further Rob's premises, yung sinabi niyang it is considered false because courage is a fine thing and ignorant endurance is not a fine thing. That is the premise or these are the premises of Rob. So with this explanation when Rob argues using his arguments, Shem agrees with her. So it implies that uh, Shem statement is false. Kasi sabi niya, courage is endurance of soul. But according to Rob, it is considered false because courage is a fine thing. But ignorant endurance is not a fine thing. So therefore, courage is courage is endurance of soul. Sabi niya rito, therefore courage is not endurance of the soul. Look, so with that, through question and answer, through exchange of point of views, mapapasang-ayon mo, yun ang purpose mo eh. Kaya nga kayo gumagamit na yan, dialectic method. Gusto mo mapasang-ayon dun sa argument mo when you presented it to others. Pag sila nagbigay ng comment, of course, magke-question yan, tatanungin, sasagutin mo. Pag sila ay na-convince sa sagot mo, parang sasang-ayon sila sa'yo. O, example yan, nangyari sa Kongreso, di ba? Nagpalitan ng speaker. So, may magkabilang partido. So, both of them sinasabi tama yung kanilang tama yung kanilang mga sila ang tama, yung isa ang mali. Pag yung isa naman, sila ang tama, itong isa ang mali. Okay, paano masosolve yan? Kailangan pagdebatehan nila. Mag-present sila ng different points of view, then tingnan kung sino ang maganda ang ebidensya, tingnan kung sino maganda ang arguments, then pag napasang-ayon mo, like what happened, di ba? Ang speaker natin is Speaker Lord Alan Velasco because some of the congressmen who supported si kay former Speaker Peter Alan Cayetano ay napasang-ayon, lumipat dun sa side ni Velasco kasi maaring yung arguments, maaring mga arguments na ginamit nitong side ni Velasco ay na-convince yung mga ibang supporters ni former Speaker Alan Peter Cayetano. Kaya nakakuha siya ng mas maraming boto kasi mas maraming sumang-ayon. For example, mas maraming naengganyo sa mga pahayag, sa mga presentation of arguments ni now Speaker Lord Alan Velasco. Okay, that is what we call dialectic method. Sometimes we call it as question and answer method. Okay, let's proceed. Let's proceed with the next, this time deductive perspective. When we say deductive perspective or deductive approach, the mind proceeds from a general conclusion to specific instances to establish a valid conclusion. This is the opposite of inductive. In inductive method or perspective, the mind proceeds from specific instances to a general conclusion to arrive at a certain truth or knowledge. So, let's have first the deductive perspective. Example. Okay, look. In deductive perspective or deductive approach or method, the premises must be true in order the conclusion must be true. For example, our major premise is all Filipinos are resilient. Then, we give minor premise. Our minor premise is Coco is a Filipino. Therefore, if all Filipinos are resilient and Coco is a Filipino, therefore we can conclude that Coco is resilient because Coco is a Filipino and all Filipinos are resilient. Look, so when we say all Filipinos are resilient, that is what? General. From all Filipinos. From general, all Filipinos are resilient. Then, Coco is a Filipino. Coco is resilient. Now, Coco is resilient. Our conclusion is now specific because we are referring to one Filipino, which is Coco. If we will discuss another, or if we will change the name Coco, we will give another name of a Filipino. For example, all Filipinos are resilient. I am a Filipino, therefore I am resilient. So that is deductive. From general, we arrive conclusion, a specific conclusion. But if we will change, for example, if I'll say some Filipinos are resilient, then minor premise, Coco is a Filipino. Is it correct to say Coco is resilient? Hindi na. Pwedeng sabihin na rin, how about if Coco belongs to those Filipinos who are not resilient? So, it's either Coco is resilient or Coco is not resilient if we will change it with some. Kaya nga, major premise must be true in order for you to arrive at true and valid conclusion also. That is in deductive. Okay. Another example. The major premise is, the child always comes running when I ring this bell. The child always comes running when I ring this bell. That's the major premise. Now, the minor premise is, he is not coming. What is your conclusion? The conclusion is, I haven't rung the bell. Is the conclusion valid? Yes, because from the major premise, the child always comes running when I ring the bell. In the minor premise, he is not coming. Therefore, I did not ring the bell or I have not rung the bell. Diba? So, that is what we call deductive method or deductive approach in doing philosophy. Okay, let's move on with the opposite of deductive. This time, inductive. Inductive perspective, the mind proceeds this time from specific instances to a general conclusion to arrive at a certain truth or knowledge. Let's try these examples. Look, major premise. The left-handed people I know use left-handed scissors. So lahat daw nung alam kong left-handed people ay gumagamit ng left-handed scissors. Therefore, I will conclude that all left-handed people use left-handed scissors. Look, from specific, the left-handed people I know, yung specific, yung mga left-handed people na alam ko ay gumagamit ng left-handed scissors. Ngayon, we come up with the conclusion na all left-handed people use left-handed scissors based on my specific premise na the left-handed people I know use left-handed scissors. Kaya ako nakakonclude ng all left-handed people use left-handed scissors. Okay? So ito, mas better. The major premise is, the chair in the living room is red. The chair in the dining room is red. The chair in the bedroom is red. So, specific. The chair in the living room is red. Another thing. The chair in the dining room is red. Another thing, another chair, this time in the bedroom is red. So, the chair in the living room is red. The chair in the dining room is red. The chair in the bedroom is red. So, I can come up with the conclusion that all of the chairs in the house are red. So, from specific, one chair in the living room, another in the dining room, another in bedroom, three specific instances. So, all of them are red. Kaya, nakakonclude ako na all the chairs in the house are red. So, from specific to general. So, yung kanina, from general to specific. Okay? So, the last is romantic perspective or romantic approach or method. In romantic perspective, the immediate sensation or feelings aroused by nature and events are valued over reason. Ano ba ito? The immediate sensation and intense feelings aroused by nature and events are valued over reason. Yan natin. So, they said that some philosophers feel that for human beings, it is our own, day-to-day living. It's our own day-to-day living that it's the center of our search for the truth. Yes, that's true. Sabi nga siya, as long as living in this world, we are always searching for the truth. We are always searching for the meaning of everything in this world in order for us to acquire knowledge. Reason and the evidence of our senses are important. Yes, we are using what? Reason. We are using reason in order for to answer the question, in order to find the solution to the problem. No doubt, sabi nga niya. But they mean nothing to us unless they touch our needs, our feelings, our emotions. Only then they acquire meaning, and this meaning is what the romantic perspective is all about. Let's give example for you to understand better. Okay, for example, in the classroom, and normally it happens, may isang estudyante na laging absent. Then, of course, normally what the teachers are doing is they keep on asking question, they keep on investigating. Bakit ang batang ito ay laging absent? Di ba? Ganun ang ginagawa. Okay, so after the investigation at nalaman ng teacher na kaya pala ito laging absent, upon may investigation ay lagi naglalaro, lagi lang nagka-cutting class, lagi naglalaro ng computer or lagi pupunta sa mall, etc. In short, laging nagka-cutting class. Ngayon, normally that is ang ginawa ng teacher dinrap niya because after his investigation, after he searched the meaning of the situation, napatunayan niya na kaya pala tayo absent ay lagi lang nagka-cutting class at naglalaro lang ng computer. For example, nag-ML. Ngayon, dinrap niya. So, nawala na siya ng problema kasi wala yung pala-absent na estudyante. Pero, kung ang klase ng teacher ay ganito, pala-absent yung bata, then, of course, nag-investigate niya kung bakit pala-absent yung bata at nalaman niya na ito pala ay nagka-cutting class at lagi lang naglalaro ng computer. Ang ginawa niya, kinausap yung bata, then masinsinan, heart-to-heart talk ang ginawa niya. Then, pinakwenta niya dun sa bata kung bakit lagi ma-absent, bakit lagi nang naglalaro. Then later on, habang nagkikwento yung bata, halimbawa, is nakwento niya na kaya ayaw niyang pumasok lagi is siya ay binubuli ng kanyang mga classmates. So, mas better pa sa kanya mag-stay na lang sa maglaro sa computer center or kung saan man. So, doon naramdaman ng teacher ngayon, yun pala ang reason. So, ang ginawa niya, nung maramdaman yun, naawa siya sa bata, so binigyan niya ng chance. At sinabihan niya na, pumasok ka, ako ang bahala sa iyo. Pag nasa loob ka ng klase, sasabihan ko mga klase mo na huwag kang bubulihin. So, yung pangyayaring yun, naramdaman ng teacher, yan, is the teacher's immediate sensation and intense feeling aroused by nature and events are valued over reason. So, yun daw yung romantic. Kaya tinawag na romantic because of we are using our feelings and emotions over our reason in order to solve the problem. Maraming ganyan, di ba? Kuminsan, for example, may mga students naman na dadaanin ka nila sa, for example, sinabi ng teacher, okay, deadline ngayon ng pasahan. Ayan, ay hindi nakamit ng deadline. Ang daming reason ng mga estudyante para tanggapin ng teacher yung kanilang mga ginawa, which is late. Ngayon, anong gagawin? Magpapakita ng emotion, kuminsan magdadrama, kuminsan iiyak sa teacher, kasi po ganito kaya hindi ko na-submit kasi po wala po kaming internet, wala po kaming pampaprint, etc. Ang daming reason, ang daming, so ginamit yung emotion. So with that, the teacher heart, or the student touches the heart of the teacher. O sige na nga, submit mo na dahil diyan sa iyong mga dahil diyan sa iyong mga sinabi sa akin at umiiyak-iyak ka pa, nagdradrama ka pa. Okay, accept mo na. Not knowing na yung pala ginawa lang ng bata parang dahilan, magdrama. Ganun mga style eh. Sabihin, ay dramahan mo lang yan si sir, ay dramahan mo lang yan si ma'am. I-accept niya yung gawa mo eh. I-accept niya. So, kuminsan, yun din ang pangit sa romantic method. Kuminsan ginagamit, umaabuso para magawa nila yung gusto. So, dapat is sometimes we need pa rin to balance yung emotion and feelings and reason. Not yung we will value more yung feeling and emotion over reason. Okay? So, in all aspects of doing philosophy or when we are philosophizing, first, of course, is reason. Ngayon, wag naman puro reason. Samahan din natin ng emotion and feelings, and yung romantic. Kasi pag puro reason, parang dictator ka na niyan. Kung anong sabihin mo, yun yung masusunod. Samahan mo rin ng feelings and emotion, and that is romantic perspective. Okay? So again, what are those philosophical processes that we can use when we are doing philosophy or when we are philosophizing? First is holistic perspective. This is the supreme philosophical method whereby, again, the person views the quality of the object as a whole. Then, analytic perspective, the mental or actual breaking down of a larger system into its parts or details, is used for deeper understanding. Okay? Dialectic perspective, or sometimes we call it as question and answer approach or method, a discourse by which a discourse between two or more people holding different points of view about a subject is used to establish the truth through reasoned arguments. Okay. Then, deductive perspective or deductive approach, the mind proceeds from a general conclusion to specific instances to establish a valid conclusion. Then, inductive perspective or inductive method or approach. The mind proceeds from specific instances to a general conclusion to arrive at a certain truth or knowledge. And last is the romantic perspective or romantic approach. The immediate sensation and intense feelings aroused by nature and events are valued over reason. Okay? So, that's all for our episode 2. I hope that you have learned and gained knowledge from this discussion. So, that's all, guys. See you on episode 3. Bye-bye.